Hi, I am Brittany Carter, and today I have the opportunity to talk about children's mental health for our 384 PSLO. I think this is a very important topic for so many reasons. I think three of these reasons include education, prevention, and making a change. Starting with education, I truly believe that the more the society and community knows, the better off we all are. For a topic that is so serious like this, talking about our youths, educating not only the children, but also the family members, the teachers, the friends, literally everybody is going to make this so much better. Prevention, going off of education, having this information, we are able to identify and prevent any mental health that we possibly can in the beginning. So knowing what to look for and how to do this and how to get help, where getting help early will allow to prevent any severity that this could cause. And I also think that making a change is so important. Having this education, information, and prevention topics, we are able to step forward and to make a big change in this world and maybe even save a couple lives while we're at it. I mean, if everybody knows about this and we're constantly making productive changes, we are going to be saving lives. I would like to talk about now how it impacts safety for society. I think being aware, understanding, and taking charge are the biggest concepts that we can really embrace for this topic. Awareness is just knowing how widespread this is and how common it is, and that it's not a super uncommon thing for most people nowadays. It's a lot of mental health is being picked up and diagnosed. So being aware of that and knowing what to be seeing and looking for and how to make those changes is a really good one. When we are aware of all of these and we can identify the different mental health, we can also have a better and deeper understanding. And so finding that education, creating that communication and knowledge of a knowledge base of the topic is going to be really, really helpful in making a change as well. And then taking charge is once we finally identify what this is, how it's happening, what causes it, what we're going to do, is taking that first step to making the change. It's taking charge, putting out a document, adding a resource, putting together a company to help with this, sending your kid to the doctor to make that change, and taking charge of getting him or her some help. It could be as small as sending them to the doctor or identifying, hey, I think we need to have a conversation about where you're at. For family, it's finding help and resources. And so knowing who to contact, knowing where to go, knowing when it's time to get help, which is the very first sight of anything, any issues that could be happening. Watching for signs to be able to identify when help is needed. So knowing what to look for, kind of knowing what maybe those signs and symptoms are, even if they're a little bit more internal. It's identifying, have they had any changes lately? How's their mood? How's their eating? And stuff like that. We'll also continue going over a little bit later. Supporting and being there for the kids, knowing that you are their biggest cheerleader, is that you can take care of them and watch out for them and push them to make the change that needs to be done. Support them by encouragement and love and care. As a client, finding professional help and knowing when to find help is identifying that I don't think I'm okay. I don't think this is what's supposed to be happening. I need to reach out to an adult or another medical professional and get that help. This could lead to saving your own life, saving another person's life, and just making that sudden little instance to get a little bit of help can really change an entire outcome of someone's life. This will also allow for a better environment for learning and really growing up and having these opportunities to be the best you can be. And then care for friends and family. You can encourage help from other people, know who's there for you, know who's going to encourage you and who wants to help you, and use those people to the best of your ability and for resources. As for a care team, being able to be the best educator that we can, providing resources, giving everything that we can do, educating why this is happening, why we think this is what's going on, and what it truly is and stems from. We can use this to also provide better care for the clients. Is that if we're providing information, they can identify, oh, well, maybe this that I didn't mention in the first place is an aspect of this as well, so that we can provide better care. And like I mentioned, providing those resources, so different websites, different people to talk to, different interdisciplinary team members, websites that you can do, pamphlets, any of that good stuff. This is just kind of a chart that I found on the CDC regarding different types of disorders of different ages, and the percent of it is in the world compared to their age. And so we have depression, anxiety, and behavior disorders. And this chart kind of really blew my mind. Like I didn't really, like I knew it was a problem, but I didn't think it was to this severity. Impact to healthcare quality. Stated by the CDC in 2016 to 19, children from 13 to 17, 6 million diagnosed with ADHD, 5.8 million with anxiety, 5.5 with behavior problems, and 2 million with depression. These numbers are crazy huge. I never thought we would be getting to this point. I hope we never got to this point, but going deeper into their information and data, it's only increasing year after year. So this definitely needs to be something that we talk about a little bit more now. Something that is definitely productive is knowing what to look for in their children and others. Having a list of these things that maybe I thought that was kind of abnormal, but I maybe it was just an off day versus, okay, yeah, they are doing this every day. This is a new thing for them, and maybe we need to be addressing it. We can learn and improve our care to patients is looking up for new data, new resources, new information, new studies. Sorry, that's my cat in the back. But finding those new studies so that we can improve and always increase our care of all of our patients. We can teach people who are unaware of the problem we're facing today. So it goes back to the education, and that even it's educating the people who don't have family members that are young adults and children, or don't have children, or don't hang around a lot of younger generations, is that it's so important for them to know, because this is not just a young generation thing. This is an everybody generation thing. It's mental health problems spread around the society and the community. As parents, teachers, and families, we need to know when to reach out for help. So it's identifying when all of this started, what's going on, what could be causing this, and who is the best person to be reaching out for it. And then more resources being well known in the community. So now it's spreading information and spreading topics and phone numbers and emails and websites and all of that to everybody that possibly can reach it. Financial cost is pretty crazy. It kind of blew my mind, I'm not going to lie. For the client, I didn't realize that most appointment sessions can range anywhere from 60 to 150 plus dollars a session. Insurance can expect to pay, with insurance, you will expect to pay about 10 to 30% as like a copay, which is pretty typical for any medication or uh, medical thing in the first place. Until your insurance is not covered by that therapist or counselor or any type of medical provider, then it's 100% on you. And that can be very, very expensive, because not only is this a $60 to potentially $100, 50 one-time thing, this could be a twice a week to once a week to bi-weekly to however many times you need to be getting this medical help, which will start to rack up really quick. For society, I did realize that, oops, I forgot a T right there. I'm so sorry. But I have been realizing that there are a lot of new research and new companies / groups that have been identified and giving grants to help with children's mental health. For this one, the HHS will be giving $40.22 million to different services that will help with education and prevention and interventions and improving resources. And so that's really amazing to see. And they're not the only ones. And so it's a good start to identify the people and the groups and the companies and whoever it is that want to help and will do whatever they can to help. Laws and regulation. There is obviously HIPAA for any medical procedure or medical intervention at all, even just conversations. Keeping in mind that for mental health, a lot of it does revolve around suicide or suicidal ideations, and that is a mandated report to any medical provider. Some states now are requiring mental health professionals in schools and to teach about disorders so students can be more aware of what's going on. I think this is a great start. Having some type of mental health professional in schools teaching about all this is going to really change our community. It'll allow people to understand what they're going through, put a name to their feelings. Maybe they've been feeling this, but they weren't really sure what it is. This is going to be a really big game changer. In 2019, a bill invests $2 billion into public schools every 2 years, and a portion of that money is dedicated to finding school-based mental health services. So that's including more education, more resources, as in textbooks and like speeches that you can have people come in and talk about. It's also putting a therapist on school campus 24/7. And so this is also going to be hopefully implemented in a lot more states, a lot more counties for schools. Impact of laws and policies. This allows children now seeing information and resources about mental health in the school system. It's not just going to be if you're seeing a medical professional and you think something's wrong that they're going to be giving this to you. You're going to understand what you're going through, what others are going through. You might not even know what people are going through, and now you're going to be able to understand what it is. This also leads to changes being made to have more opportunities to help lower income communities. It's known that lower income communities tend to have a lot more problems with mental health. And so making those changes for more resources to help those lower income is really going to be productive in all age brackets around the world. Society is aware of the problem, starting to push each other to make the changes that will save lives. I want to talk about this with the next one. So we also need more people to see the problem and have the motivation and resources to make the change in the world. Hopefully others will follow. Having society identify these problems and identify what needs to be done is so important. But so is the next step of making that change. And so we need people to work with other groups who have made a list of our next steps of what needs to happen to make it better for everybody around the world. And then we need that person to start implementing. It's a lot of saying, but it needs to be doing as well. So I can say that I want a therapist in every single school, but until I'm reaching out to the school districts or principals or therapists, that change isn't going to be made. And so the person to make that step needs to be motivation driven. As a nurse, there are so many things I hope to do. I hope to educate as many clients as families that I possibly can. I hope that no matter what, at least one time with a patient, I want to ask how their mental health is, how they're doing, if there's anything that I can do, anything I can get them, whether that's therapy on spot or if that's an email checking in on them in a couple of months through the clinic or the hospital or whatnot, just to do a follow up on them, or if that's providing pamphlets to give them resources. Uh, Going back to pamphlets, I want to be able to hand out resources that make the first step. So any information that I have that could be given to make them want to get help is going to be a really productive thing as well. I hope to give the hope that change can and will be made. I want to show people that this is not I think about it, I talk about it, but nothing's going to happen. I want them to know that there are a lot of people out there actively working and participating to make this a better thing and a big change in the world. I want to be a better listener to my patients and be their advocate. Some of these patients in this presentation is considering ages 0 to 10, and a lot of them don't know how to explain how they're feeling or describe what's going on with them. And so me being able to be an active listener to them and hear what they're saying and hear what their patients are saying, our parents are saying, and identify what's going on and use this information to advocate for my patients is going to be something that I am going to take very seriously. I also want to provide better care. So this goes for advocating, but also implementing strategies to help them go through whatever they're going through. Some warning signs that your child may have a mental health disorder include, and I just want to go through a couple of important ones, but persistent sadness, withdrawing from social interactions, hurting themselves or talking about suicide, out of control behavior, loss of weight/eating habit changes, difficulty concentrating, academic performance changes, and avoiding missing school. Plus, all of the extras are very important identifiers into noticing if your child may have a mental health disorder. And these are all things that should be addressed pretty quickly. It's not, I'm going to wait for a couple of more of these to be implemented in my child's life before I get help. It's the first time I see that sadness lasts more than 2 weeks, I'm reaching out to a provider and I'm getting help. Thank you so much for listening. I really had a great time doing this presentation. I hope you enjoyed listening as well.